What's going on, Tackle Warehouse fans? We're here, ICAST 2024. This is the Tackle Warehouse first look, and I'm here in the baits booth with VP of Sales Operations, Kevin. Kevin, thank you so much for joining us, man.
Yeah,
this
Walker.
is something I am super stoked about. I actually got the chance to hang out with you a couple weeks ago, get the lowdown on some of these reels. I'm super stoked to tell all of you TW fans what baits is about. First, we're gonna be going on the Goat Swim 200. Man, just in my hand, I've been playing with this thing. It is butter, it looks clean, but I wanna know exactly what makes it butter, why you love this reel, and also, I just wanna hear your opinions on it.
Okay, so the Goat Swim, in my opinion, is one of the better reels we've actually made. All of them are very good. But when you actually turn the handle and you spin it like this and it just keeps going, you know you've got something special. So in this reel, we put a brass gear inside of the reel. The other reels you might see in our lineup, they're gonna have between an aluminum or a brass gear. This one comes with the brass. And we also have a nice deep spool right there. So you have a lot of line capacity specifically for swim baits, using a lot of 20-pound mono, fluoro, whatever you're gonna be using. Holds about 220 yards of that stuff. So you get plenty of capacity, but one thing that we do have is a very small frame. You got a lot of drag out of this reel for what size you're getting. It's a 200 size reel, but you're getting up to like 20 pounds of drag.
Yeah.
Legitimately,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
and that's under what we actually could do. So, but we make
They're modest around here at baits.
We do that for a reason, actually. So we make our drags overpowered so that when you do use less, you're getting a smoother drag.
Gotcha.
So instead of having it skip when you pull real hard, it's smooth and buttery the whole way when
Yeah.
you use the correct amount of drag.
For sure.
So
for
you
sure.
could pin it down, and people will, but it's going to be really smooth on the correct settings.
Awesome. Absolutely. Why don't you kind of go ahead and just dive into a little bit about, how these reels are made. I know it's a lot different than probably every other reel on the market. I mean, it's super unique to you guys, and I'm in love with the concept of it. So I want to hear your 2 cents on the process.
So what makes us really unique is we make all these reels, these low profile reels, and even round reels out of CNC bar stock 6061 T6 aluminum, and that's what it looks like. So
That's a fishing reel.
This is a fishing reel. So this is literally unformed. It comes out in extrusion, and then we're gonna make this into a frame, right? So the frames, as you go through the process, you can see right here, the milling is inside of that frame. I can turn it sideways, you can see some of those mill marks. Beautiful piece of work, and the machine is whittling this down into the final production end, which is this really small and light frame. Now people can't hold this, but you can. Tell me how light.
Absolutely.
Tell me how light that is.
Man, I mean, I didn't even feel you put it in my hand.
Now squeeze it. Like, try to do stuff to it.
I'm not that strong.
Like, you're doing it the wrong way though. Like, go from the top down. Like, do stuff weird to it.
It's not budging at all, man.
So that's a zero flex frame. And
That's incredible.
That's the reason why we can give a lot of drag output for these reels. It's very special. It's a very expensive material. It's an expensive process. That's why our reels are a bit higher end, but they're actually pretty fairly priced for what you're getting.
Fairly priced for sure. Yeah,
I mean, it could be way more expensive, but we're trying to make sure that everyone's aware of this new technology and they have options to choose from, which I'm sure we're going to talk about. So, but that's what makes all these reels very unique. We do make all these low profile out of CNC'd aluminum. And we make everything from a 100 size all the way up to a 200 size.
Absolutely. That's how they make the baits reels, and then that's also how they make the baits Goat Swim 200. This reel, the Goat Swim 200, available for purchase right now on tacklewarehouse.com. You don't want to miss it. Head on over to the website, check it out, pick up this awesome reel. Next up at the baits booth, we're going to be talking about the Baits Hundo LTS. I've got a Hundo 100 myself. I am super stoked about this new LTS edition. This is just a clean, crisp looking reel. The silver there, the gold, the black, everything is so appealing to me. Man, why don't you go ahead and just jump right in and tell me what makes this reel so special?
So we've had a lot of people ask for BFS style reels, and it's becoming a very popular, subculture in the fishing community.
Yeah.
I mean, you're casting what, 1/32 to like 1/8 ounce lures, if that.
Absolutely.
And so what we ended up doing was making a spool design, just like a lot of other BFS style reels, that is going to be able to cast that. So yes, you could throw a lot bigger lures, but it's really designed to have small lures thrown on this. So you can look right there. There's that honeycomb wiffle spool right there. And this is going to be very light. It weighs about 8.9 grams.
Yeah.
So when I pull it out and show you, you'll see how wide it is, okay?
Wow.
Now, the reason why it's so wide and it doesn't have a lot of line capacity is the intention is to make it very light. You put a lot less line than normal on this reel. You use small braid, but with that, you get more distance with those lures. So you can actually do something like casting a 1/32 style lure.
For sure.
You know, maybe like 80 feet.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's pretty far.
Yeah, that's good.
We also think actually that some people will pick up on this, but FFS guys, forward-facing sonar guys, they really don't have a lot of selection for light lures, right?
Yep.
And so we think that these guys that are fishing out there, well, they may want some more drag. They may be fishing like a core round lure, but they haven't been able to cast it very far. This will be a very good option.
Absolutely,
It
absolutely.
will. Yep.
Super multi-purpose there.
The same Hundo frame that we've had, tried and true. The guts are a little bit different, but that spool is really what makes this very different from the other models that we have.
Absolutely, absolutely. And one thing I want to call out real quick, we were just talking about here, this has an audible drag clicker, which I am a huge fan of. I just love when that reel sings me when I hook up on any size fish, and this is no exception. I hope you guys can hear that. I'll kind of play it right there to the microphone, and that is just something I'm really in love with. That is the Bates Hundo LTS casting reel.
Light tackle system.
Absolutely. Next here at the Bates booth, we're going to be talking about the Bates OG 100, probably my favorite reel I've seen this entire show. I mean,
really?
it's just such a clean, retro-looking reel that brings back that vintage style of fishing that, you know, is tried and true, always looks good, always will look good. And Kevin actually brought into the office a few weeks ago his 100, and I hadn't seen one in person up until then, and I think we spent a couple minutes just going over how this reel works, why it is such a performer, the baits it can throw, the drag that it boasts, everything about this just screams perfection in my opinion.
The OG, like you're saying, is just a callback to like real, like hardcore anglers fishing round reels.
Yep.
They didn't have this.
Yeah.
You know, when we were babies, we're not even born.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
you know, it's fun to bring something that's more relevant to the market. Technology has just gone so far forward. You know, again, like we've been talking about, this is all CNC material.
Yep.
So even though it's a round reel, it's still made from a bar stock piece of aluminum, right? So one thing about this reel, it's going to come with a brass gear inside of it. So it's got some serious drag power for it. For being a 100 size reel, it's going to kick out about 16 pounds of drag.
Absolutely.
So actually guys have been trying this for like up to 6-inch swim baits.
Wow.
A little option, they use braid obviously or something smaller.
Absolutely.
But it's a phenomenal option for something more of like a finesse style swim bait, which is not really common, but people are doing it. So
For sure.
if you want to fish all day and you want to fish it with more twitches, or you want to, you know, if you want to slap your glides, you know.
Don't be showing that to
I'm
everyone.
just saying.
That's a secret around here, man. Come on.
You can do that. You can chop it better.
Yeah.
It's easier to work. So, yeah, and one of the things I want to show you, obviously the spool like we were talking about before, it's a little bit different on here. See this gold that you're seeing right here? It's got actually a deeper capacity, obviously than the LTS.
For sure.
But you can see there's a matrix braking system in there. And what this does is when you flare it out, I'm not sure you can see that, but you can actually twist it, right?
Yeah.
Like this, and it's going away from the spool.
For sure.
And so what this does is it slows the inertia on the beginning of the cast and increases it towards the end. So you get
Awesome.
longer distance casts without having backlash.
Yeah.
It also runs into the magnetic housing here.
Perfect.
So this little red piece will sit inside that housing and it will rush into and contract into the magnetic housing. So
Wow.
it's a beautiful system.
Super dialed
It
in.
really works well. It came out with our Hundo before. One other thing to show you really quick. I know I'm deviating from our what we were
good.
supposed to say, but you can take a Hundo spool. That's from a Hundo.
Fits
slap
right
it in
in
there. Check this out.
Now, is that the same spool size, or is that gonna
Same
be
spool and
size?
everything. But now you got yourself a blacked out reel, and you can actually change out all the parts on it, make it black on black.
There you go. Absolutely. I love the conciseness there, man. Such an awesome reel. Like I was saying, that retro look, just a clean performing reel. I mean, nothing wrong with it. Looks super cool. Stoked to get my hands on one. That is the Bates OG 100 casting reel. All right, guys, last but not least for the Bates booth here, we are going to be talking about the Salty Hundo. Now this is just another one of those reels that I see and I fall in love with. That seems to be a common theme around here at the Bates booth. I'm just in love with all the aesthetics here, all the cosmetics of all your reels. But what really gets me is the way that this reel performs, where it performs, and just how it performs. Man, I am stoked to talk about the Salty Hundo.
Me too. This is actually my favorite reel.
Okay.
Not that it's our most expensive reel.
For sure.
That might be part of the game here, but we actually have really learned a lot with our consumers, right? We're taking feedback, we're listening, we're seeing what's going on out there in the field. One of the things that we've been seeing is that guys are not nice to the Hundo. They are abusing it in
Myself
saltwater.
included.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a freshwater guy, you're totally cool. Like, no problem, you won't have any issues with corroding bearings. But when you're in saltwater, especially those Texas guys, they are harsh on the Hundo.
Yeah.
So the answer to that for us was, first we want to put a brass gear in here, not necessarily for anything but longevity and drag strength. So you can put more drag on this reel. The other one has the regular Hundo has an aluminum gear. This has brass.
Yep.
More drag power. It'll feel smoother as well. But the additional part to this is that we put in ceramic bearings right off the bat.
Wow.
Now what that does is it prevents corrosion on your bearings because there's no metal. It's a ceramic bearing.
Yeah.
So it won't pit, it won't do anything like that. It's gonna sound a little different when you get it out of the box. I mean, when you hear it, it's gonna sound a little rougher.
Yeah.
But that's not gonna change performance.
It doesn't feel, it's smooth as well though. It just sounds a little bit. Yeah.
And to prove that, I'm going to show you the free spool.
Okay.
We can talk while we're going because it's going to take a while.
Absolutely.
So,
Get it started.
yeah, so
So we're gonna go ahead and start that free spool now. One thing that I wanna mention about the Salty Hundo, man, is again, the aesthetics here. And I don't think we covered it on all the Bates reels here. They are known for having this rubberized handle, and I'm a
Gum
big
rubber.
Gum rubber.
Yeah.
I knew there was a name for it, couldn't remember it.
just like Vans on the bottom of your heel, Just
Absolutely.
saying.
That is super comfortable in your hand. I mean, it just feels like, some companies, you get a reel and it performs flawlessly. Bates, not only do they perform flawlessly, but they just are comfortable in the hand. They feel well, they look nice, and it's just an awesome, and that's the time right there.
There it is.
That's that free spool, absolutely amazing. Man, that's the Bates Salty Hundo, all these reels, the Salty Hundo, the OG 100, the Hundo LTS, the Goat Swim 200, all the Bates reels available for purchase right now on tacklewarehouse.com. That's gonna go ahead and wrap us up with Bates. Man, Kevin, thank you so much for sticking around, showing us what's up with the awesome reels from Bates. You guys head on over to the website, check it out, look at all the ICAST footage, and take it easy.